IELTS Listening Test 3.
Okay, and so as always, there's a bit of preamble, and at a certain point within this preamble, the recording will state that you can turn to section 1, and it's at that moment that you want to start previewing the questions.
On what you hear. There will be time for you to read the instructions and questions, and you will have a chance to check your work. All of the recordings will be played once only. The test is in 4 sections. At the end of the test, you will be given 10 minutes to transfer your answers to an answer sheet. Now turn to section 1.
Okay.
Section 1. You will hear a conversation between a buyer and supplier of pet products. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5.
Okay, we're looking at questions 1 to 5, no more than 2 words. Quantity, this will be a number. Let's see, custom items require, this will probably be a number, a premium. What kind of discount? Okay, this will likely be said directly in the listing itself. What can the buyer not wait for black dog sleepers on back order? Okay, we'll have to listen for this one as well. We'd probably underline black dog sleepers and the color black in
You
particular.
will see that there is an example that has been done for you.
Again, the number.
On this occasion only, the conversation relating to this will be played first.
Here's the example.
North Star Pet Supplies, this is Ian Hirschwitz. How may I help you? Good afternoon, Ian. My name is Joseph Thomas. I'm calling on behalf of Positively Pampered in Manhattan. I want to place an order for several of your products. Not a problem, Mr. Thomas. Do you already have an account set up with us? I do. The account number is 455-6078-9051. All right, Mr. Thomas. For security purposes, can I verify the address on file as well as your mother's maiden name? The address is 99 6th Avenue, Unit 67, New York, New York, zip code 10013. My mother's maiden name is McLean, spelt M-C-L-E-A-N.
The buyer states their account number, so this information has been written next to account. Now we shall begin. You should answer the questions as you listen, because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 5.
North Star Pet Supplies, this is Ian Hirschwitz. How may I help you? Good afternoon, Ian. My name is Joseph Thomas. I'm calling on behalf of Positively Pampered in Manhattan. I want to place an order for several of your products. Not a problem, Mr. Thomas. Do you already have an account set up with us? I do. The account number is 455-6078-9051. All right, Mr. Thomas. For security purposes, can I verify the address on file as well as your mother's maiden name? The address is 99 6th Avenue, Unit 67, New York, New York, zip code 10013. My mother's maiden name is McLean, spelt M-C-L-E-A-N. Okay, thank you. I see here that you had a recent order put on hold for 150 essential puppy pliable chew toys. Product code 1103-02. Did you want to add this to today's order? That order was held because I was told somebody would get back to me with the sizing details for the chew toys. The 12x12 is too large. We need a 9x9 centimetres. Ah, yes. I see the notes on your file. I'm sorry no one got in contact with you. Yes, it looks as though our production manager has okayed the custom sizing. Right. We can have the smaller chew toys in production as soon as your payment clears. Could you note, though, that custom product orders can only be completed for unit purchases of 200 or more. Okay. You will need to pay an extra 35-cent premium per item. So what would the total cost? With shipping and handling, plus the premium for altered dimensions, an order of 200 essential puppy playable chew toys would be $1,874.36, including taxes. If you place the order today, we can have everything shipped to you a week from Monday. I was hoping to keep the chew toys under $1,500. You mentioned that you were looking to buy other products as well. If you bundle the orders together, I can see if we can implement a quantity discount. Okay, well, I was also interested in 70 Winx dog sleepers, product code 2563-34. I need 35 of them in black, 35 in brown. Unfortunately, Mr. Thomas, we are currently on back order for the black sleepers. We have 10 left in stock that I could ship to you with this order, but the remainder would likely be an additional 14 days. No, that won't work. I need them for next week's dog show in Scranton. What other colours do you have? The brown is no problem. It looks like we have burgundy and navy blue available too. Okay, let me change the order. Give me 25 brown sleepers, the remaining 10 black ones you have in stock, 10 burgundy and 25 navy blue. Okay, so 25 brown, 10 black, 10 burgundy and 25 navy. I've keyed that in. Do you want us to ship more black sleepers to you when we get them in stock? No, thanks.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 6 to 10.
Okay, so we'll pause it there. Most of the answers very straightforward. I don't think anyone had too much of an issue finding these or listening for these. The quantity that he orders of the Essential Puppy Pliable Chew Toys is 200. And he has to order 200 because he's getting custom sizing made. So if you recall, I don't remember what the original dimensions were. I think it was 12 by 12 or something. And he says that he needs this product in 9 by 9. And then the seller tells him, well, I can't provide any custom sizing to you unless you buy 200 items or more. And then he decides he's going to go ahead with that and get 200 items. So the number here is 200. And then if you get a custom item, if you order custom items, there is a premium that you must pay per item, and that premium is 35 cents. What kind of discount can the supplier offer if the buyer buys in bulk? And this was a very clear quantity discount. I don't think anybody had an issue with that question. Letter C. Why can the buyer not wait for the black dog sleepers on back order? He can't wait for them because he is attending a dog show. How many Winx dog sleepers does the customer buy? Now this one's a little bit confusing because this is including all the different colors, not just the black. So I think he buys black, he buys navy, he buys burgundy, and he buys, there were 4 of them. I can't remember what the 4th color was, maybe pink. Anyway, there were 25 of one of them, 25 of the other, 10 and 10. So the correct answer here is 70. Okay, now let's start our time to read the questions for questions 6 to 9, or 6 to 10. Label the diagram below, no more than 3 words. Okay, this looks like it'll be fairly straightforward. Choose the correct letter A, B, or C. How is the buyer going to be notified when the items were shipped? Via text message, via phone call, via email. Okay, fairly straightforward. I think we should be okay.
Now listen and answer questions 6 to 10.
So, was there anything else you would like to buy today? Yeah, I'm interested in your Clean Away Dog toothbrushes. Product code for that is 861-93. But the image on the website isn't that clear. Are the toothbrushes hollow? Yes, they are. They're designed to fit on the user's finger to allow for a more versatile cleaning of the dog's teeth. At the base of the toothbrush, you see the insertion point. The insertion point is where the finger enters the toothbrush. Towards the tip of the toothbrush, you can see the bristles. This is, of course, where you would need to apply special formulated pet toothpaste. Between the bristles and the insertion point is a long slit. This slit allows the product to fit different hand sizes. On the back of the toothbrush is the outer shaft. We've reinforced the outer shaft with additional plastic to make the product more durable.
Right.
If used 3 times a week, the product lifetime is 1 year.
That sounds great.
Okay, give me 500. Half of them in pink, half in blue. Would this order qualify for any discount? Actually, yes. When you buy 400 or more, the unit price is reduced to $1.98 per unit. So this is a saving of 13%. Will this discount impact the overall quantity discount you said that could be applied to the entire order? No. The quantity discount is calculated separately by my computer. After we finish keying in your order, we can see how much quantity discount you are eligible for. Were there any other products I could show you today?
No, I think that's it. What's the total pricing, including all the fees and shipping then?
Okay, with taxes and fees, the total cost for all 3 products shipped express on Monday, July 8th, would be $3,377.96. Orders of 2,000 and more receive a quantity discount of 5%, so your new total is actually $3,209.06. I am assuming that you would like all 3 products shipped together on the same date to avoid extra fees, right? And should I charge this to the Visa that I have here on file?
Yes to both questions. Ship them together and charge that card. Thanks.
Great. So to recap the order, we have 200 essential puppy playable chew toys with modified dimensions of 9 by 9 centimetres.
Yeah.
70 Winx dog sleepers. 25 in brown, 25 in navy blue, 10 in black and 10 in burgundy. And 500 Clean Away dog toothbrushes, half pink and half blue. Is all of this correct?
Yes, it is. Thanks.
Mr. Thomas, I've placed your order. Please expect to receive your tracking number via email. Is there anything else I can help you with today?
No, thank you. I'm all set.
Great, thank you for ordering from North Star Pet Supplies and have a great day.
Okay, we'll stop it there. Fairly straightforward. The labeling might challenge your vocab a little bit. The bottom part of these dog toothbrushes is the insertion point, he says. And then he describes the top here, and these are the bristles. Okay, this long area here that allows the product to stretch, to open wider for larger hands, he was saying. This is the slit. And then on the outside, the reinforced backing, he describes this as the outer shaft. And number 10, very straightforward. They even say the answer is C. He will be informed via email when the items are shipped. Okay, let's continue.
That is the end of section 1. You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Okay, we feel confident about our answers in section 1. Let's go to section 2. So here we have multiple choice, something called the CVX we're going to listen for. What kind of driving? Key. What does the CVX require to be able to connect to the internet? What does it require? Key. Okay, we'll listen for these 3 things. Okay, here we have a diagram. Let's note that the numbers are not in order from left to right. It starts at 13 and goes 14, 15. So we're going to listen for 13 first, then 14, 15, and onwards. And this is no more than 3 words and or
Now
a
turn
number.
to section 2. Section 2. You will hear the CEO of Winston Motors introducing a new vehicle. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 17.
Okay, so these are the questions that we're going to be doing first. So maybe we'll just focus in this section here. Looks fairly straightforward, multiple choice. Is it a Wi-Fi connection, mobile network, smart device? How does the CVX connect to the internet? What does it require? And here it looks like some kind of compartment here. This is pointing to the door.
Now listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 17.
Good evening. My name is Jack Sampson, Chief Executive Officer at Winston Motors Inc. And I'm very pleased to announce the introduction of a new model to our 2014 lineup, the Compact Vehicle Experience, or CVX as we more lovingly call it. Let me explain to you why we are so proud of this new addition to the Winston family. You know, since its invention in the 1880s, the automobile has undergone continuous innovation, from rubber tyres and speedometers to airbags and rear-view cameras. Motorised vehicles have evolved to meet the needs of humanity and are among the first outlets for the latest in technological advances. Thus, the challenges and concerns of today's driver are the focus of our vehicle designers at Winston. Climate change, pollution, increased urbanisation and record oil prices, to name a few. We at Winston have been listening to our buyers, and I'm so proud to present the revolutionary CVX to you today. More than 5 years ago, we set out with an idea to revolutionise the way people experience driving in the urban environment. Our team of engineers, software developers and designers have taken what was once only an idea and turned it into a reality. The CVX is not only the most exciting car you'll ever own, it's also the most practical. And over the next few minutes, I'm going to guide you through some of the more important CVX innovations that you won't find in any other compacts. Firstly, each of our vehicles allows for the seamless integration of your personal technology. Like other cars, the CVX seamlessly connects to your smartphone via Bluetooth. But the CVX also boasts the capability of connecting to your computer, tablet or other smart device, and it provides strong Wi-Fi connection wherever 4G LTE mobile service can be found. Stream music as you drive, surf the net while waiting to pick someone up, do a quick Google search for that restaurant your friend liked on Facebook. Everything is right at your fingertips. Our patented Wi-Fi receiver runs through the roof of the vehicle and can pick up even the weakest of signals, allowing you to access your mobile network almost anywhere, including downtown parking garages. A second exciting innovation is that the CVX makes the hassle of changing a flat tyre a thing of the past. Your CVX will likely detect the flat before you do and indicate the flat to you via the communication screen built into the dashboard. So simply pull the vehicle over to the side of the road and press the Change Tyre option that appears on the communication screen. The car will automatically raise itself and disconnect the flat. All you have to do is take the spare from the compartment in the hood of the car and place it on the exposed wheel axis. The CVX will take care of tightening and realigning the wheel. In fact, the entire process takes less than 2 minutes. A third innovation is the manner in which we've designed the driver and passenger seats. Both seats are now 30% thinner than our other models. Driver and passenger legroom has been increased by 15% as a result, which means the vehicle is not only lighter, but more comfortable. In addition to this, on either side of the driver's headrest are speakers that allow the driver to receive updates on things like city traffic and weather conditions. And we've also taken security to another level with the CVX. Unlocking the door and turning on the vehicle is done remotely from your smart device. Where you would have once inserted a key, there's now a data receiver that can read a digital key transmitted from any Bluetooth-capable device. Because of this feature, you can say goodbye to lost car keys forever. Our final revolutionary change is the introduction of a smart windshield. Our smart windshield can cater to driver visibility issues. For example, intense sunlight causes the smart windshield to automatically tint. No more dangerous fumbling for sunglasses or the sun visor. And at night, the smart windshield detects the headlights of oncoming traffic and dims their intensity. It can also detect fog and other inclement weather conditions, and alert the driver of difficult to see obstacles. So that's a bit about the features you can expect to experience with your CVX.
Before you hear the rest of the talk, you have some time to look at questions 18 to 20.
Okay, and we will do that in a second. Let's first go over the answers for this section. So, what kind of driving is the CVX designed for? And this gentleman does not state the answer explicitly. He says it's designed for urban driving. Let's get that word up here. He says it's something about the driving in the urban environment. The CVX has been designed for that. So this would, of course, be answer A, city driving. 12, what does the CVX require to be able to connect to the internet? Now, it throws us off a little bit because it says it connects through a smartphone, through Bluetooth, but that's just the way that the car connects to the smartphone. The way that the car, the CVX, connects to the internet is via a mobile service, is what he says. So the answer here would be B, a mobile network. Okay, and now we listened to the various parts of the car, and he starts talking about the roof of the car. I think he uses the word roof to describe it. And the roof of the car is where the Wi-Fi receiver is. And then number 14, so he spends quite a bit of time describing what to do when or if the CVX has a flat tire. And he says that within the compartment in the front of the car is the spare tire. So number 14 would be spare tire compartment. Okay, 15. So there's the driver, and then I guess the passenger sits behind. The driver's seat has speakers on either side of the headrest. So you could just write here speakers. Now 16, he describes the door and how it has a safety feature, and he says where you would have once found a keyhole for your car door, there is now a data receiver. And then he spends quite a bit of time talking about the windshield, and this is not simply a windshield, this is what he describes as a smart windshield. So a windshield that would be able to do certain things for the driver to help enhance their driving experience. Okay, let's continue. Now, we're given time to look at these questions. Choose 3 letters A to G. What 3 things does a driver require to be able to rent a CVX in Hetherington? A car sharing license, a smart device, an account on Hetherington's website, a digital key, vacant CVX, a data receiver, a laptop computer. So let's listen. I'm pretty sure they will say this explicitly because this comes in a list. So let's
now
listen
listen
for
and
these
answer
3
questions
answers.
18 to 20.
Okay, now I'd like to talk a bit about the CVX and society. We at Winston empathise with concerns everywhere over the environment and have done what we can to ensure the CVX is among the most environmentally friendly vehicles on the road. The lightweight design and extremely compact dimensions of our car means less fuel is used. The CVX motor can be switched from petrol to electricity by selecting an option from the communication screen. But perhaps our most environmentally friendly feature is that the CVX allows for car sharing. Let me explain how this works. As I pointed out earlier, each vehicle has a data receiver built into the door, making it possible to unlock and start a CVX vehicle with a signal sent from your smartphone. Now, this digital key can be shared to other smartphones via a text message. The municipal government here in Hetherington has taken this technology a step further and will be working with Winston Motors to make 90 CVXs available publicly across the city. What this means is that if you spot a vacant CVX parked at the side of the road, you can simply use your smart device to visit the Hetherington City website, punch in the vehicle's license plate number and make an online rental payment. The digital key for the CVX is sent to your phone, and with a minute you can unlock the vehicle and drive away. Making personal vehicles publicly accessible like this means less cars on the road, and this is a project we at Winston hope will catch on in larger cities. Just imagine the implications this could have for traffic problems across the UK. It's so exciting. Our team has worked hard to take what was previously just a mere concept and turned it into reality. We believe the CVX represents the next breakthrough in motorised technology. Cars that are designed for the way we live, work and play in the urban environment.
That is the end of section 2. You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Okay, let's stop it there. So a few little things that might have misled us. He talks about car sharing, but he doesn't mention anything about needing a specific sort of license. He does mention, I don't think it's the first thing he mentions, but that a digital key would be sent to a smart device. So to be able to open the door, you would need a smart device. So that is one of the 3 answers. Oops. An account on Hetherington's website, again, a little bit misleading. You do need to go to Hetherington's website, he mentions, but he doesn't say anything about creating an account. He says you just have to know the CVX's license plate. And if you punch that into the website, you will be sent a digital key to your smart device. So the other answer then is a digital key. A vacant CVX. Yeah, he mentions if you see a CVX and it's available, then you can rent it. So the other answer is E. A data receiver, doesn't mention anything about that. And a laptop computer, he doesn't mention anything specifically about that. He says a smart device. Okay, let's use our review time to preview. Questions 21 and 30. Which statement applies to each of the following teams? Okay, it's a matching. Is equipment dependent? Keyword. Is boys only? Keyword. Could do a lot for student morale. Okay, keyword here. Had a great season. We'll likely hear this. Is not mentioned. Has several players on scholarship. And so we have a girls basketball team.
Now turn to section 3. Section 3. You will hear the headmaster and head coach of a college discuss varsity funding. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 24.
Okay. Field hockey team, cricket team, and equestrian. Now we'll likely hear this exact vocab in the listening, and we are only asked to look at 21 to 24, so we will stop there.
Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 24.
So, as you know, we're here to discuss a few topics today. Firstly, I wanted to address our concerns over varsity budgeting for the college's coming academic year. Following this, let's talk about the issues you brought to my attention in your email.
That sounds fine.
So, what are your thoughts regarding sport budgeting for the year?
Well, we've had a great couple of seasons. The senior girls basketball team taking first place 2 years in a row was obviously a highlight. Senior boys basketball and rugby had great seasons too.
Yes, indeed. Yes, well noted.
As you know, my goal is to get funding that will allow the college to branch out into other sport, more equipment-dependent sport, like cricket and field hockey.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Where we're already struggling to fund the various scholarships we have in play. Attracting talented young people is important, so I would hesitate shifting funds from our scholarship pool, you know.
Yes, I'd agree. The only point I'll make is that we can't underestimate the value of having a recognised brand for the college. The more sport we participate in, and participate well in, the more popular the college will be among prospective students.
So, what do you suggest, Mary?
Well, currently we offer 18 sport-based scholarships to 9 talented young men and 9 talented young women. If we could reduce this to 14, we could put the saved funds towards establishing cricket teams for both senior boys and girls. I'm sure the first couple of seasons would be a little rough, but our foray into cricket would likely be great for the college's image and popularity among prospective students.
You do realise that by reducing the number of sports scholarships we offer, we'd also be reducing the number of uniquely talented students that walk through our door.
I've taken that into consideration, yes. But I think the college has the opportunity to grow into something more. You're right, the initial move to reduce the number of scholarships will likely reduce our talent pool for a few years. But the exposure we'll get from being involved in more sport will, in my opinion, make us attractive to increasing amounts of future talent.
Well, yes, you make a good case.
And don't forget the effect a cricket team would have on our student morale.
Yes, I suppose that's true. I'll make a note to bring this up at Friday's faculty meeting. They'll want to weigh in before any decisions are made. Could I ask you to join and address them as you've addressed me today?
Of course.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions.
Okay, we'll just stop it there. So all of these things are mentioned, I do believe, but they do not all connect to the teams listed in questions 21 to 24. So the girls' basketball team had a great season. So the answer here would be D. Oops. Okay. Field hockey is something the female teacher wants to get into the school, and she describes it as an equipment-dependent sport. So the answer for 22 would be A. The cricket team, she explicitly mentions that the cricket team would do a lot for the morale of the students at the school. So she's trying to encourage the headmaster to consider this as a sport for future years at the school. And equestrian, they talk very quickly, so I'm not sure if any of what they were saying sounded like the word equestrian, but this does not appear anywhere in the listening, so the answer here is E, is not mentioned. Okay, now we are given some time to preview the next questions.
25 to 30.
Okay, 25 to 30. Choose 3 letters A to F. What three colors make up the college's varsity colors? Okay, that will be very straightforward. Let's continue. Write no more than 2 words and or a number for the following. The rugby pitch schedule. Okay, senior boys. So we're going to have the teams on this side. We have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. These days will appear in the listening.
Now listen and answer questions 25 to 30.
Okay.
Right, let's move on to our second issue for the day, the boys' football team. Now, you said you wanted my input on something.
Yes. Well, we've got a couple of issues. Firstly, regarding the order for new uniforms. We've received a sample. The college colours are all there. We've got burgundy, white and navy, but the shorts are in burgundy. Traditionally, we've had them in navy.
That's very strange. I'm not sure who ordered them in burgundy.
So it's an oversight on our supplier's part. No problem. Just to check with you to see if this was an intentional decision on your part. I'll contact the supplier and rectify this.
Great.
The only other thing in the schedule, this year, I was hoping to arrange the senior boys rugby practices for Monday and Wednesdays from 3:15 to 4:45. The boys' football practices would remain at their normal time, Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Their normal time being?
The same time, actually, 3:15 to 4:45.
Okay, and how about the senior girls?
I was thinking to have them follow the same schedule, but on alternate days.
So senior girls rugby would be Tuesdays and Thursdays on the rugby pitch?
Right. And senior girls football would be on the football pitch Mondays and Wednesdays.
Yep, that should work. Yeah, have the schedule printed out and run it past the secretaries. They should be able to arrange pitch scheduling.
Terrific. Right then, I'll leave you to it. Thanks very much for the time.
My pleasure, Mary. Bye for now.
That is the...
Okay. So let's go back up to the 3 colors. Very straightforward. I believe she lists them twice. And the three colors are navy, white, and burgundy. So C, A, navy, white, and burgundy, F. Okay, the schedule. They share the answer for 29 first, but then they go back and they, I believe the headmaster reiterates what the teacher says. So they go through things one by one. The senior boys rugby is Monday and Wednesday, and then they say that the senior boys football would be happening on alternate days. That's what the teacher mentioned. So the answer for 29 would be the senior boys for football. And then they mentioned that the same schedule is followed by senior girls, but on opposite days. So senior girls and senior girls. Okay, let's continue.
The end of section 3. You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Okay, we're going to go on to section 4. Complete the flow chart below. Choose no more than 3 words and or a number for each. So the extinction of the great auk. The great auk was heavily hunted from the 8th century onwards. Okay, in Britain, in 1553, this will be stated. Britain attempted to the protection, okay, this will be a verb, protection of the great auk. The ban on great auk hunting in Newfoundland applied only if its were sought, and sought is the past tense of seek. So the great...
Now turn to section 4. Section 4. You will hear a lecture on the extinction of the great auk. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 37.
Okay, so the great auk ban, the great auk hunting ban, it only applies if a certain thing connected to the great auk was sought. It was last spotted in Britain in the year, of course this will be a number, we'll listen for that. The absolute final sighting of an auk occurred in 1844.
Now listen carefully
so
and answer questions 31 to 37.
The great auk was a small, flightless bird, approximately 3 feet tall. A superior swimmer, it spent most of its life in water, coming to land only to breed. It did so in select breeding grounds, the densest of which were the rocky shores of Newfoundland. But the great auk's habitat wasn't limited to this region alone. It spread right across to the northern islands of Europe, including Iceland and the British Isles. Its population has been suggested to have been in the very low millions at its peak. Let's pause here a second. I hope you noticed that I delivered my introduction to the great auk using the past tense. This was entirely intentional. You see, the great auk is no longer with us. It is a species that has regretfully become extinct. As far back as the mid-1500s, people were aware the great auk was in danger of extinction. Hunted since the 8th century, legislation was created in 1553 to protect auks in Britain for fear their numbers would start to dwindle. A similar ban arose in St. John's, Newfoundland, stipulating that a great auk could be killed for food or fish bait, but not for its feathers. Despite these efforts, poaching continued unabated. The last great auk in the UK was killed in 1840 by superstitious sailors who thought the auk brought a curse to their ship. 4 years later, the last sighted pair of auks in the world were killed in Iceland. Now, you may be asking yourself why the great auk became extinct when so many other similar birds did not. The reason for this is its localized nature. This was a bird that was picky about its habitat and, as such, concentrated itself to relatively few areas across the North Atlantic. It had only 20 breeding grounds, for example. It was also a bird that was easy to catch, and its meat was prized as inexpensive fishing bait. For fishermen working in the North Atlantic, the great auk was an easy and inexpensive means of luring large fishing hauls. The great auk's disappearance is also remarkable in that it was one of the first well-documented extinctions.
before you hear the rest of the conversation.
Okay, pause it there. Okay, so she goes through each of the questions one by one, and a few of the questions are a little bit indirect, so you had to listen for synonyms, but I imagine that you probably got a few of these answers. So the great auk was heavily hunted from the 8th century onwards. In 5053, Britain attempted to the protection of the great auk. Now she uses the word legislation. I believe she says something to the effect, bring legislation into place or something like that. So we have to convert that into a verb, so it would fit here. So the answer would be legislate. The ban on great auk hunting in Newfoundland applied only if its feathers were sought. So I believe she talks about how fishermen were allowed to hunt it if they were going to use it as bait, but it could not be hunted for its feathers. That should be feathers. It was last spotted in Britain in the year. This is a little bit indirect because she mentions that it was last killed in Britain, or it was last hunted in Britain by superstitious sailors. So the year here was 1840. And then she doesn't say 1840 directly, she says 4 years later. So the absolute final sighting of an auk occurred in, now we have the year, so this can't be a year. It's going to be a location, and the location is Iceland. The great auk had few, and this contributed to its small numbers. I believe this is one of the few questions that was fairly in keeping with the exact wording that she uses. So the answer here is breeding grounds, and I think she says something very similar to this, that the great auk had few breeding grounds, and this contributed to its small numbers. Fishermen caught great auk to use as bait, or fishing bait. The extinction of the great auk is among the first well-documented extinctions. That's the very last thing she says in the listening. Okay, and let's continue.
You will have some time to look at questions 38 to 40.
Choose 3 answers, A to G. What 3 things has the disappearance of the great auk helped achieve? Okay, recognition for extinction patterns. Okay, ethical fishing practices, probably a synonym. Systems for categorizing an animal's level of endangerment. An understanding of animal extinction in the North Atlantic. Legislation against poaching, which means to kill illegally or to hunt illegally.
Now listen carefully.
More animal breeding
and answer
grounds.
questions
Recognition
38 to
of
40.
dangerous human practices.
We're lucky to have the records we do of great auk numbers, as this sort of information has helped us create systems for categorizing an animal's level of endangerment. It also helps us study patterns of extinction, as animal behavior tends to change when their populations decrease past a certain level. But perhaps what this extinction teaches us most of all is the need to recognize dangerous human trends. Great auk poaching increased on both sides of the Atlantic in response to tremendous growth in worldwide fishing industries. Today, there are handfuls of similar cases that require the awareness of the entire human family. The great auk acts as a reminder of humanity's responsibility to living things everywhere.
That is the end of section 4.
Okay, very brief. So she mentions a few things that would mislead us. You probably heard her mention the North Atlantic, but she doesn't really explicitly say an understanding of animal extinction in the North Atlantic, so that would not be one of the answers. She does state, and I believe it's very much in keeping with this phrase, systems for categorizing an animal's level of endangerment. So let's put that as our first answer. She mentions recognition for extinction patterns. So A would be another. Ethical fishing practices, there's no mention of that. Let's see. Legislation against poaching, again, there's no real mention of that. More animal breeding grounds, again, no mention of that. Recognition of dangerous human practices, that's something that she alludes to in the listening. So the final answer would be G. So I hope this exercise was helpful. Thank you for listening, and good luck with your studies.